It's a beautiful afternoon, about 2 o'clock. I'm heading off to another bar, another tapas bar that's in Triana, right up the a bit further in. So deepest, darkest Triana today. I'm going to check that out. And there's a few suggestions. I think there's a thing called Lomo, which I'll give it a go. I just had my first experience with a call centre in Spain. The guy I got the SIM card off, the local SIM card, he gave me the number for a call centre. He said I had to ring them. He tried calling, but they wouldn't talk to him because he wasn't the holder of the actual SIM card. And so I rang him, and of course it was all Espanol, of course, on hold, and I never got through. I was waiting 5 minutes and still didn't get through, so I gave up on it. I'll try some other time of the day, but I'm not even sure if they have any English speakers there, so it may be a pointless exercise, but I'll give them a go. And I've got 100 minutes on my bloody phone. I don't even know if it's being used on that allowance or not. It may be a freebie because it's to their own call centre, but even so, I'm not using the damn phone in any case. I think the phone actually works, and I'm planning on going to a language exchange tonight. It's in not the most convenient place, and it's about 8 o'clock at night, so, and getting back I won't be able to use public transport, so I have to get a taxi if I want to get back quickly. Otherwise I'll have to just walk it. Not even sure if presumably it's reasonably safe doing that, but don't mind the exercise. But yeah, walking around at night in that part of town, I don't know, it doesn't look particularly bad. It's just like a business type area, but it's a bit off the beaten track. It's about the same distance as the O'Neill's was, the big O'Neill pub, not the local one. So but yeah, I didn't get through on the call centre. I had my little script in Espanol prepared, although it wouldn't have helped that much, but you never know. I just want to get data working on this phone. I think it may work for phone calls. Well, I know it does work. So it works for the call centre, it worked for talking to Martin, who's the guy who sold me the phone, but I couldn't get through to the place I really needed to on the day I got here. So I don't know why that was. The phone does obviously work for calls, so that's okay. But data would be a damn sight more useful. And I'm just not getting anything in that respect, which is really annoying. And because of regulations, he can't do the groundwork for me, unfortunately. So, but now that the GPS works, it's even less of an important thing. I guess it's good to have for an emergency phone call, if nothing else. But it's an expensive way of doing it, $30. But from overseas, you know, I've been here for a month. I suppose it's reasonable. I'm not really complaining that much. It's just an inconvenience. I also tried the soup I bought at what's it called, El Ingles, the supermarket, the rip-off supermarket. God, oh, I am in the wrong spot. Yeah, this guy went straight past. I don't remember where to stand here. This lane is for bikes and scooters and the like. So the guy just went straight past me on a scooter, and he was in the right because I was actually standing in the wrong place. I should stand back here, so give him a fair chance of getting through. But yeah, I tried this soup. The soup, there's a soup, starts with an S. It's a famous soup. I'll put it up on screen, the name. Anyone who's been to Spain would know it. And it's a very thick, creamy, tomato-based soup. And it came in a litre container, just a drinking type, normal, like you get milk in Australia, that type of container. And I thought that cost 70.7 euros, and I think I got charged something ridiculous, like about $2.99 for it. It's the most expensive item. Now I think it might have been a stuff up, but but a whole lot of items on that particular supermarket were when I went to check out, they were way more expensive than they were on the shelves, and that pisses me right off because it doesn't happen everywhere. It hasn't happened anywhere else here or anywhere else in the world that I've travelled at. So they're just a rip-off supermarket chain. And the people shopping there, mainly women I noticed, and they look pretty well to do, so there's probably a snobbery element there as well, and they probably don't give a rat's about being ripped off, which is not the way I go about life. So that'll be my one and only shop there. I have shopped there in the past. Well, I might go and get the super box, but they didn't actually. That was the one item I really wanted, and they didn't actually overcharge on that. They did actually. It's the only item they charged me correctly on. So, and it's hard, you know, if you don't speak fluent Spanish, you can't arc up when you're at the checkout. It's difficult to complain when you just got someone who's. Although I've got to say, there are probably plenty of English. The manager would be an English speaker there, I would think, for sure. They get a lot of international customers, so I could have complained, but I certainly put in a Google review that was less than complimentary. 1 out of 5 stars, explaining how I got ripped off. So, you know, I did the right thing, warning other people. And they get a bad reputation. Google has a bit of weight, you know. I think a lot of people are starting to use that as a good review site. So, I mean, I'm not happy about adding to the power that Google has generally, but at least they are providing some good technology. I'd have to concede that, in spite of the fact I think that they're authoritarian tyrants in general. So, but most people don't seem to care about those things, free speech issues and things. It's not high on most people's priorities. It's the way the world is. Most people are just battling to get by, especially in Australia these days. The news is all negative. Listening on the radio, the terrible droughts that we've got in Australia. They had terrible rain here, really bad. So, it just depends. But I've got a few options to eat at this place. I look at the reviews and I pick out a few food items that are worth getting. I should have done that yesterday before I went to the local tapas bar, Batilia. I can't remember the name of it. It starts with a B. That was all right, but I didn't. I mean, the calamari was very good, but I wanted to try a seafood item they had. It was some form of seafood like crab or lobster or something like that, wrapped in bacon. It sounded quite good, but I couldn't convey that to the waiter, and it wasn't on the standard menu, so it might be a special. Then again, it may not have had the catch in to serve it up anyway. They may have been able to pick it up at the market in any case. So it might be a seasonal type thing. But it sounded good. Mind you, I think I'd go back there, even though it's a sit-down place. I prefer ones where you stand around a bar. They're more convivial to talking and what have you. It was inevitable. Finally, a waiter has walked straight into me and went looking after a customer. It's a busy thoroughfare here. A lot of people walking through. He just ran straight back into the restaurant without looking. Crazy. Oh dear. I survived. I think he apologised, but I don't know. He didn't get angry anyway. He had no reason to be angry. He was in the wrong. But yeah, people stuffing their faces everywhere. Gives you the impression that all that happens in this country is people whining and dining. It just seems to be one big party. And there may be some truth to that. I tell you, there's a stack of tapas bars down here. I actually looked up Google, and it's just, I've never seen so many red balloons indicating that there are tapas joints around. It's just everywhere. And this is a major thoroughfare here, of course. This is, I think, a big food avenue. Really big. But right down the end here, that should be where I need to go. It's a fairly simple one, this. Shouldn't have to need my mobile. It's a nice walk. It's not as frenetic as the weekend, at least. Some people obviously are working, so taking a little bit of the heat off. But I get the impression that tourism is hugely important to Seville, especially this time of year. And obviously, even if maybe locals aren't here, they might be here to escape the heat. There's plenty of tourists. Stacks of history as usual. I might check my phone, see what my doings are. Yeah, well, I ended up at a different place to where I was going to go. I actually walked past the place I was going to go to. It looked so ordinary. It was so, no one was really there. I had 2 customers outside. This place is a lot more popular. The food is cheap. I thought, what the hell, give it a go. This is obviously a real local area up there, seeing a lot of tourist things, so that's good. But I don't know what the name of this place is, and there's no signage around it. That could be a problem. That might be the name there. I'll get a shot of the menu so I can remember what the name of the place is. Because at least they gave me that. The guys seemed pretty nice behind the bar. Yeah, this is a pretty classic sort of meal, I think, the Lomo. So, actually, that's interesting. Alright. Not what I expected, but it's one of those days, I think. I'll give it a go. And the wine's fine. And they've got the potato chips. They're everywhere. Yeah, well, that was definitely the authentic experience. I knew a little bit of English, and more English than I know Espanol, which is, again, pretty embarrassing for me. But it was all right. It was actually, in effect, a Spanish steak sandwich with a very thin piece of meat. This is the place I was intending to go to, but it looked really ordinary, so I didn't bother. So, look, I might give it another go. But it's pretty quiet at the moment, which could be a good thing. I mean, maybe I should have gone there. But look, you're not going to get bad food here. So I could do it next time. But there's just no, the signage here is so lousy. Oh, there's a hospital just here. There's a school as well. This is more suburban up this way. So, another observation I make about my trip here so far is how young the population is here. It's very similar to Vietnam, which is strange because apparently Spaniards have got a fantastic health record and one of the longest lived countries in the world, population-wise. So you think you see more elderly. I mean, I did see some, obviously I mentioned about people with walking sticks and the like, but overall, I'd say it's very youth orientated. It might be because Centro is where they go, and this area as well, because of all the food and what have you, and maybe the oldies don't go out as much. That they wouldn't. It's just due to medical concerns and whatever. So that's just natural. But the impression I get is this is, you know, it does share that similarity with Vietnam. It seems like a younger population, but I don't think Spain's really. I don't think their population's going up, their natural population at all. I think it's very similar to all advanced Western countries. I don't think this is not reality. Centro is certainly not reality. And if you go out in the suburbs, you might find a lot more elderly because it's cheaper housing. So, I mean, this is more where real people live. Although I ended up paying, I think I ended up paying $5.50 for that meal, so it wasn't that cheap. I thought it'd be cheaper than that, but I guess steak is not cheap anywhere. I mean, when I say thin, it wasn't that thin. It was just thin compared to what you'd get in Australia, but it was quite tasty, and the bun was nice, and you got the peas and what have you as a side dish. It isn't the best value place I came across. I think that's definitely got to be the one that wasn't patronised. It just tells you, just because people don't go to a place doesn't mean it's not good. And that was the one up near the Roman columns. It's a reasonable distance away, but they were very good value, and they're not off the beaten track. So, but look, the other place next to it may not look flash, but might be fantastic. I don't know. And for whatever reason, it's not being patronised this afternoon. They might just have a big group at this other place. But look, I had no complaints. The staff were very friendly, and you know they're good. They're good on their customer service. And And the food quality is pretty standard, pretty consistently good, I'd say. I still think the most disappointing meal I had so far is the one which was the turkey roll. It wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't bad either. It was quite edible, but it compared to other tapas food I've had, and I'd say that probably Casa Morales is really good. I had the not pork loin. I had a stew. That's right, a stew, and it was just slow cooked meat as a stew here, and it was delicious. So I think, and they're pretty cheap as well. So, but they have the advantage that they get a lot of English speakers because they're in a tourist central area. So it sort of doesn't make sense in a way why they'd be so cheap, but they are. They're not spending money on decor, which is great for us, because I like the old decor. And that place I just went to doesn't have any charm regarding that. So Cafe Morales is very good value. And I will be going back, but maybe not tonight because I'll be at that English exchange thing, unless I leave that early. Oh, I did the wrong thing again. I should have walked on the sidewalk. Got to get used to doing that. Also need to get across the other side of the road. It's shade there. It's still high 20s or so, I'd say. Just yesterday it felt really humid. Really humid. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.